Hey, it's me again. About an hour ago, we just finished the tracking guitars in Ableton stream. Now we're going to be processing the guitars that we recorded and tracked. So making them sound as big and as EQ'd and in your face as possible, while also working with the whole entire mix. So I'm excited. Awesome, let's dive right in, people. Okay, so we just recorded a bunch of cool guitars. So we have first off this piece. So this is a kind of two pieces. It's the main, this is basically gonna be the main guitar part. When I process these in the chorus, this is gonna be the guitar part that's kind of in the mid of the frequency spectrum. So this right here is kind of just the intro. Cool, so it sounds pretty darn good already. So right now we're using Guitar Rig because I'd used this previously in the past, and I like Guitar Rig, but sometimes it can sound a little too fake. So there's this new thing I've been working with, STL Tonality, Howard Benson. There's a ton of different guitar processing plugins out there. This is just one that I've used a lot recently, and it's been sounding really, really good. And also Howard Benson does a lot of cool tracks that I'm like really find inspiring, like the whole My Chemical Romance album he did. I absolutely loved, and I really like the guitar parts that he did, especially with the octave chords. So we figured we'll try this and see where we get with this. So I'm gonna have that on, but the first thing I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna run this guitar into a compressor. So just in case y'all didn't know, when we track these guitars, we use the Ultra Super Cool, where is it? Right here. We use the Ultra Super Cool, there you go, Focusrite Scarlett here. So we tracked it in here. You can see that it's still an input 1 over there. Actually, you can still see the instruments lit up, which doesn't need to be lit up anymore. So we tracked it directly in there. No pedals, no nothing. It was a Schecter Omen 6 guitar. So now what we're going to do today is we are going to add a little bit of compression first off. And that's basically just going to kind of help tame a lot of the transients. So I'm going to use a pretty decent ratio, at least 6:1. I want a pretty high compression. I want, the tag at 0.25 actually is a pretty good starting point, and I'll probably want a faster release here. So let's just go ahead and hear this. And you can already hear the difference that STL Tonality is doing. So let's turn that off. A little more compression out of it. I want to hit 3. Excuse me. All right, it looks like we're hitting 4, so that's good. We'll take 4 dB of compression. Now this, I would love to say like, hey, you can go in here and pick a different pedal and pick an amp and really have fun with it and show you guys how to do all this, but I don't even know how to change this. I don't know if you can. I don't know if they're all presets. Oh, I guess you can change the amps here. And with the pedals, you can change the different pedals here. Can you change the pedals? I don't even know. But all I use is for the presets anyways. It's got the Howard Benson presets, a couple other ones here. The Howard Benson ones have been the best. So we're just going to kind of cycle through these and hear which ones we like. That first one's not bad, but that screamer, it's really in your face. Cool thing about these two is they all have different names. Like Move Along Rhythm is probably the rhythm he took from when he made the Move Along song. From All American Rejects, you got Helena in here. That one's pretty cool. They're in the mix. It needs to be heavier. I think that sounds probably the best. Let's compare that to the guitar rig one. Now I'm just I like to just for comparison. I'll use a little keystroke command here, and I'll just put like 4 here and then 4 here. So what it'll do is alternate when I hit it, so I can hear them pretty quickly. So you hear this one has a lot more like mids in it. I don't know if I can change that at all. Can I chase that a little more? That sound. Yeah, and sometimes the original is better. So I think for this one, I'm gonna actually keep this guitar rig because these are all kind of a little bit too. How do I say this? They're too much crunch. There's too crunch, all of them. It's too much crunch, too much metal sounds. But with the guitar one just sounds a lot more in your face. So, all right, tonality. I'm sorry, you're not on here for this part. You're just gonna be this one. And this preset we're using here is all the blink things, which I use all the time. I use this in the song called Right Now. I use this one a lot, but usually I've been using STL tonality. So we'll probably bring that back for some of these other tracks. So let's go ahead and now we have this. The other thing I like to do is I like to EQ with just the Ableton EQ at first. So I'll grab the EQ8 here. Oh, I don't want a hot swap. No, thank you. No hot swap. Excuse me. Grab the EQ8 here. There we go. I'm gonna throw this after guitar rig, and I'm just gonna cut the lows at about 100. I love this being right here because it just makes it super easy. I'm just gonna make everything to work with after this much better. Cool. And the other thing I like to do is I like to use this plugin called Passive. Now what Passive does is it EQs using this old, I think it's called the Massive Passive. I think that's what it's called, but it's made by Softtube. It's a really good EQ. I absolutely love it. And instead of using a preset here, because I don't think there's anything that's really going to help us, we're just kind of mess around and see what we can bring out. I usually like to bring up some of the low mids or the high mids at least, to like maybe at the 560 range. Yeah, just bring it a little more there. Yeah, that sounds pretty darn good. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna duplicate this out, and I'm gonna delete everything that's on this track but the verses. And I'm gonna call this one up here for now. No, sorry, I'll do this one down here. It's gonna be verse guitar. This will be just the verse guitar, including this little part here. These are the little breaks there. Cool. So that's the verse guitar. We're going to delete all of these because we don't need those. They're down there. And then this is chorus 2. We're going to delete this from this line. And then we've got this bridge, which I think is going to be the same preset here. So let's listen to this. Hell yeah. Sounds great. And so just so you know, all that is now is I have this Echo Boy plugin turned on. I had this in the demo takes, so now I'm leaving it here. But Echo Boy is really cool. It's just a quick little kind of like analog delay from Sound Toys. They have like this whole Sound Toys bundle, which I highly recommend getting when it's on sale, whenever that is. Look out for it. But they got cool stuff like this. Alter Boy I use on a ton of tracks, especially with my voice because it's terrible. A lot of other things too. It's just a lot of fun. So in this case, we're going to delete this and this from here, and then the breakdown. Now, I don't think I'm going to use this setting for the breakdown. I think I'm going to have something different here. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'll make a new track, Control T for new track, and I'm going to call this one Chorus chords. Cool. Sorry to make sure I was streaming. I just didn't realize I didn't check to make sure I started it. Chorus guitars right here. Cool. And then, actually, while I'm doing this, make sure I have my stream chat up so I can check out if anybody's saying anything to me. Because I would hate for someone to tune in, which would be you'd be the first viewer. Actually, I think I would be the first viewer of all time. But for me to not actually reply would be kind of crappy. So, all right, so our chorus guitar here, and then we've got a couple selections here. So I haven't made my select yet of which chorus guitar I want. I know it's going to be one of these three, so let's pick which one we like the most. Kind of sloppy. That one sounds better. And now the second part goes up. Cool, that one sounds good. Let's try the next one here real quick. Yeah, I can already tell it's gonna be that second one because that was kind of sloppy. All right, so this is gonna be our lead here. So I'm gonna grab this. I'm just gonna trim it there. I'm probably gonna need to do a fade to bring it back in. Oh, you can hear my cat. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but that's my cat. I don't know what she wants. Or he. That's actually probably the girl. I have a boy and girl cat, Monkey and Lila. Oh, Lila, she's loud. Okay, so now on the chorus guitar, we're gonna start off by grabbing the Pro C, just like last time here. If you're, we're all electronic music producers, even though I'm making somewhat rock right now. I'm gonna say C chorus guitar for center too. It doesn't have to be the center. Actually, the center usually is probably gonna get turned down. I learned a secret from a Chris Lord Algae video, or Algae, I don't know how to say his name. But what he likes to do is he likes to keep one guitar dead center, quieter than the other two guitars on the left and right. And that kind of gives you just this like the sense of home while the guitars are playing. So it's kind of cool. So, and then for this, we're going to try to use STL tones, I think. But we're also going to grab the preset from here just to make sure that we don't like Guitar Rig better. I think Guitar Rig just sounds a little sloppier in a good way. I don't know. It's weird. I go through a love-hate relationship with it. That sounds pretty cool. I usually go straight for the Helena rhythm most of the time. It sounds so like ballin'. All right, so now I've got all these turned on, so I'm just gonna turn these all off here. So that sounds good. I think, though, it's such a transition. It's just such a transition piece. I'm probably going to still need to keep that preset on. So again, the concept here, though, is we're really just grabbing a sound or we're grabbing a preset we like or some sort of amp simulation and throwing it on. We're picking our best one. And then also we did a little EQ8 and a little passive after that in this initial one here, which you can see here, EQ8 and passive. But now we're just trying to see like, okay, can we get away with using a different preset in the chorus? And it sounds like no. It sounds like we're still going to need that grounding sound in the chorus. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to take this, I'm going to pop it right here. And then, oh, make sure I don't go over anything. Yeah, it starts there, and then this starts there. So yeah, I didn't want to do that, but I think we're gonna have to keep the guitar rig on it. And that's a great transition already. A little off, but it works fine. It'll be covered by their sound. That's the other thing too. If you're using guitar as electronic music, you're gonna have a lot of sounds going crazy, and you're gonna. I mean, for me at least, I like to make it all sound big. So if they all sound big, then you get a little more slack when one thing kind of gets a little crazy because you have the kick drum that's gonna sound big, for example. So if they have a little cut off here or something doesn't sound great on the transition, it'll work good because these are two different audio files, right? Audio 15, audio 7. So no matter what, they're not gonna be the exact same. They're gonna have some sort of transition piece, but it works pretty good. Okay. So since we only have 2 other guitar tracks, it makes it simple. There's no more selects we have to do. We just have to process these. So what I'm gonna do now is instead of calling this C chorus guitar, I'm gonna say L guitar, and I'm gonna say R guitar. And actually, I'm gonna duplicate L guitar, rename it here, R guitar. Whose guitar is it? It's our guitar. No, R guitar. Cool. Cool. And then I'm going to grab this, move it up here, move this up to here, and then I'm going to solo just these 3. And then finally, this is where we start to get into more of the processing. We're going to grab our utility here. I use utility in Ableton. There's a ton of things that do this too. You could actually do it from somewhere, I think on the other side, on the mixing screen here. I think here you can do it too. You can just pan these things left and right. Am I going crazy? Where the hell is pan? Do I not have it up here? Oh yeah, no, that's crossfade. No, there should be pan somewhere. Oh, it's right here. Duh, that's pan. I like to use the utility for anything like that. I just like to keep the mixer as clean as possible because the utility doesn't really take any bandwidth anyway. It's for your computer, any CPU. So now that you have your L guitar, I guess you can guess it. We're gonna take this down to 40 L, maybe even 40. Well, I want these to be wide, but not super wide, so let's do 40. And on this one, we'll just type in 40, because whenever you type, it'll be R. We have to do minus 40 to make it better. Now let's hear these 3 together. It's already so much better. Right? It already sounds so much bigger. It already sounds great just by processing these. So again, all we've done is a little bit of compression with Pro C at the beginning, a little bit of EQ8. Oh, and these actually have an STL on them too. Haha, what do you know? So these already have that preset from STL. So let's hear the one by itself. Add the second. Right, and then just in terms of relationship with these guys, I'm gonna group these now, so they're all in one guitar group. Call these guitars, as you can imagine. Rename your stuff. Always rename stuff. Make sure you can keep track of it because it's gonna be super important to keep track of all of it. All right, we got a listener. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment in the chat. If not, comment somewhere else, and I'll talk to you. But appreciate you checking in, tuning in. So now that we've got these guitar processed here, a guitar is gonna be in that process. Great, we got these all in one group here. We're gonna do a couple other things. So the R guitar, what I did earlier is I soloed and soloed just so we could hear what it brings to it, right? Oops. Now I'm gonna bring this one down a little bit, maybe like -3, because I want the sides to be a little bit louder. You really hear now it's adding some oomph to it. Now with the L guitar, the left guitar, I'm actually going to take the verse off. I'm here just these 2. And with the L guitar, I'm actually going to pick a different preset in STL tonality. God, you can probably hear me swallow. I gotta watch out my mic etiquette. It's never very good. But here we can pick a couple of different, or a different sound preset. What I'll do is I'm just going to loop this and kind of mess around until I hear 2 that sound good together. And then I'll bring in the center one, the main one, and make sure they all sound good together. That one sounds pretty good. I like that. Opinion overload. HB amp 1 always sounds good too. All right, so it's between rock lead. Ooh, amp 1 still takes it, or opinion overload. Yeah, it's gonna be HP amp 1. I think it just goes a little higher. All right, so here all 3 together. Cool. Yeah, so that sounds pretty darn good. So now what we have here is these two don't have the passive oomph to them. So we're just going to copy the passive, put it on one of them into the solo and hear the difference. See what our passive does. And remember, if you guys are just tuning in, passive EQ, all we're doing is adding a little bit of low mid to the 560 just to make the guitars have a little more power. It's very subtle, but I could tell like it's still going to benefit from it overall. So I'm actually going to grab this on the group now. That's why we process stuff in groups. So I'm going to take off the passive on all three of these. Oh, what did I delete? I deleted something that I didn't mean to. Yeah, the utility. That's not good. Passive, guitar rig gone. Guitar rig gone. We don't need any more. Guitar rig still on the first one. You got Echo Boy still coming in later. And then our passive on guitars. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit more compression. So there's this thing about distorted guitars where you don't need to compress them a lot because they've already lost so much attack because the distortion kind of removes all the attack. That's why crunch or gain is better for like solos where you want the guitar to really pierce in through the mix. I don't know how they do it in metal. They probably just do a lot of scooping out so you can hear it better. But let's hear a little bit of compression on here now. And I'm going to, I should solo these. Cool. So you can hear it's kind of getting a little bit of that low mid. And I like to bring up the low mids a lot because I don't have a true bass usually when I'm producing. It's like a sub bass and the low mids can kind of replace that for me. But we'll do that later. So right now we're just going to leave the Pro C on the way it is. And then we're going to try to EQ more into the compressor now that we have so much compression, because the idea is that what other frequencies could we potentially boost that we don't need, or take away that we don't need, or boost that we want? So I like the sound of that, but I know when the vocal comes in, it's going to take it right in there. It's going to take exactly what we need. Let's try 1K5. I think that sounds pretty cool. Now I'm going to just do a little preemptive thing here. And that's because I know that my singer, Chelsey, not my singer, my partner in this album, Chelsey and The Noise, she usually comes a little hot around 5K. So just preemptively, I'm just going to do a little bit of a dip here with a little bit of a Q and just hear how that sounds to make sure we're not going to lose anything we need. That's cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another Pro Q after that, and I'm going to put a high pass a little bit of it. I did that separately because I want this one to be able to do the work after that one, right? And I also want to be able to make sure that this one doesn't really this needs to be surgical and this is gentle, right? So you can do EQing however you want. I like to do surgical stuff before I do like, hey, let's take stuff down, or like take certain frequencies down or lower things, or really rebalance the sound. But with the passive EQ, that is purely for coloring the sound. This thing sounds so good and so it's just warm. You know, it's really a musical EQ. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they've picked only these things. So if you're trying to EQ guitars, you're trying to EQ anything, and you're like, man, I don't really know what the heck I'm doing, this is a great opportunity to start with because it's got stuff pre-labeled for you. There's a ton of options too, and you can really kind of narrow down. So now I always know I like 560 in the low mid. That's just something that I like when I add to my guitars for the most part, especially when I'm doing these heavily distorted guitars. So it's kind of a cool plugin that, in the sense that you can kind of check those things out. Also, Softtube is great. This is a Native Instruments and Softtube thing. AKA I think Native Instruments just paid them to do it. Before Softtube was as big as they are now, but all their stuff sounds awesome. We also have the VC76 we can look at earlier, which is a 1176 clone, which I actually have an 1176. Oh, can I show you guys? Can I show you? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Let me see now. Can I go to the camera? Yeah. So you can see here, I have this nice little 6176 here. We're going to do a video on that a little bit in the future, how to track or how to do vocal EQs with that. And this thing does not want to stay on. There we go. But that is an amazing, amazing compressor. Again, I'm going off on a tangent. I apologize, but a lot of cool gear, a lot of cool stuff to talk to you guys about. All right, let's get back into Ableton. So we've got our 3 guitars here processed now. And they sound great. Now you're probably like, oh, I heard some other things going on. And that's because we do have another guitar take down here. So let's listen to these 2. So this is like an octave guitar, which I love throwing it on top of this type of stuff because it really helps you fill out the sound. Also, we're talking about how Howard Benson, I feel like he was the guys who did Blink-182 and the guy, I don't know, I'm sure they've had multiple producers. But Blink-182 as well as like Howard Benson right here. Is it Ray? Is that his name? The guitarist from My Chemical Romance? I think it's Ray. He was the first tab I ever saw had these with his good tab on I'm Not Okay. Which is just like, you have a power chord, but you're missing the 7th, so just an octave, or is that a 5th? I don't know. But it just sounds so good. So if we merge all this together, this is just guitar rig. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab these presets. I should put this after tonality here. Is it like that on the right one? Yeah, this should be after tonality. Go EQ after tonality so we can, just in case it adds anything in down there, because we don't need anything down there. Deleting guitar rig from here and throwing this on. So now we've got our compressor, we've got our STL, we got EQ in here as well. That's messy. This one messed. Alright, so we're gonna grab this first half here, and the only reason I don't do the whole thing from the other take is we want that. Yeah, we just want that craziness, man. It's gonna sound so cool. Wicked. I feel like all right, I'm gonna turn up my volume a little bit, my streaming volume a little bit, just in case I'm too quiet. But there you go, a little more for you. Cool. All right, let's listen to it one more time. That is sounding really good. And the other thing I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna spread this one a little bit. To do that, I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna use the Ozone plugin. I can do anything. I haven't actually, usually I would just use utility and just hit the spread. But we'll A/B both of them so you guys can check it out. Oh my God, what is it called? The Imager? I think it's called the Imager. Yeah, because you want the ones with the bands. All right, so we're gonna grab that. We're also gonna grab a utility. And then we're gonna spread it as much as we want in the utility, get that done just so you guys can hear the difference. So you got wide stereo. Actually, we can start with that preset here. So it's got 200% already. I just hear a little bit of excitement, not a whole lot, but this thing's gonna actually help us a lot more here. So here, what's cool about this is it's a multi-band imager or multi-band stereo spreader, whatever you want to call it. You can add your bands up here. We're gonna add a band right up here, band 3. There we go. So it's not in stereo, so I added this. Now we're gonna add some stereo to it. That's what we're missing, stereo-wise. As you move this band now. So by moving this band, it's taking more of the frequency spectrum. So up here you have upper frequency spectrum, down here you have the lower frequency spectrum. As you move this, you're going to get more of the lower becoming in stereo. So everything above 3K is going to get spread, and then I'm going to add one more here. Is that how I do it? How do I add another one? Oh, there you go, plus. And then here, about 1,000. Okay, so band 4 is there now. So this is band 4 now, so it's going to be super spread up here. Band 3. Just a little bit. Band 1, a little bit more mono. And then just heck it. You know, heck, why not? Let's go ahead and throw this and then make that a little less too. So before, after, a lot more stereo in there, right? Wicked good. It sounds great. I'm so pumped on that. That's awesome. That was super easy too. Just a little bit of processing. The one other thing though is, of course, with Pro Q, we did this high thing. We're actually going to get rid of some lows if we can. That's just the last note there. So before, after, not doing a lot, and that's fine. Again, we're just trying to remove data. Just talked about this a little bit in the other video. Oh, did I stream? Did I stream for you? Or is that just me looking at the computer? I don't know. It says I'm still on. I legitimately can't tell. Oh no, I'm still on. I'm just watching a delay, and I guess I was just really looking at the camera for a while. Anyways, let's back at Ableton. All right. So just to be clear, if you guys were confused by what I was saying, I watch my stream here from my desk here. Actually, I can zoom out here. And that's how I can see, like, if anyone on YouTube is commenting. I can also check out Livestream or whatever this thing's called, Streamlabs. I don't know any names of anything. But I was frozen there for a second. I couldn't tell if my whole stream had froze, but I think I would just look at the computer for a while, and you guys, I wasn't being clear. So, all right, let's go back in now, and this is done. So we've got this. The good thing of what this is done is because it's such an easy, straight 16 bars, we can copy and paste this right on the choruses. Awesome, and then the final chorus is gonna go right here. Cool, and this is gonna be called octave guitar. Cool, so now I think we've got the verses done, the chorus is done, and now we just need to do this breakdown part, which is gonna be all three guitars. We're gonna pick the best one from these three bits, just like we did at the beginning. That one was good. It had a little bit of like string kind of resonance coming out in that one. So let's check this track. Yeah, I think it's gotta be this first one because the other ones are a little stuttery. That's my bad because I played them. But oh well. Now because we already did the heavy lifting, we can literally just throw these in here, which is gonna be super cool. Oh, if I can have it unsoloed. Now what I mean by heavy lifting is we already built the processing. for everything else. Now I'm just going to delete any parts that we don't need here. And you can hear we lost a little bit of this first one, right? Because you can see, yeah, right there. So I'm just going to warp this a little bit. Always complex pro when you're warping. Same thing with here. Did we lose this one? We lost a little bit of this one. Same thing, complex pro. Boom. What about this guy? Complex pro. Boom, boom. Now we're warping. I know we're talking about processing in this video, but just so you guys know, when you're warping things, you always make one at the end and then one at the part where you actually care about. I don't care about anything at the left, so it's okay. Let's get it out of time. And that's going to keep this locked in the place where it needs to be, and this guy can now move. I think I got this Echo Voice thing still on. Yeah, so this should be turned off by the time we get to this part. I think off for the rest of the track here. Yeah, so that sounds pretty good. And we're always trimming things. I guess this wouldn't be processing, would it? This would be more of, oops. More of comping. I guess this would be technically called comping, I think. But same thing. We just want to make sure that first one is really good. I'm not usually super particular on all my hits being like right on beat or anything, especially with like this part, because I feel like a little kind of some guitar chaos can be good if it's like you know what you're doing. I still don't really know what I'm doing. A lot of this is guessing, but I think this is going to sound a lot better now. Yeah, and I do hear one here that I want to fix. I think it's right here. I think I was late on this one. Right here. So now, because I do care about things before here, I am actually going to warp this and just move it over a little bit. I'm going to fix this one too. Boom, boom, boom. Probably fix this guy too right here. Little trash part. Now I don't have to change all this to pro because I'm already on pro for the most part. I think that would probably sound best. Yeah, I think that's starting to sound good. Let me delete this again because we don't want anything conflicting there. The fades. Gotta get the fades on. Now here, again, I am going to, just because on the first ones, I want that start to be perfect because I am super picky. Complex Pro, if you're not on Complex Pro, if you started with it and then you cut, you don't have to do it. But if you cut and then started Complex Proing things, you're going to have to turn it on for each one. Complex Proing. That's interesting. All right, so boom, boom, boom. So again, we're going to comp these just a little bit and just bring them over here. And put that here, and put that here. Cool, okay, so yeah, let's check this out. I don't like this thing being a little off right there, so I'm gonna fix that. Should be easy, just go in here, make sure these two are warped, we can't move it, and then sounds a little messy right there, right? Dun 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 dun. I think this should be on the one, right? Are they all on the ones after the threes? Yeah. So this guy deleted. Delete's got a lot of problems. So we just need to take this, 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 and that. the second one, we're actually gonna move this one down a little bit. Yeah, see, it's just off a little bit. So we're just gonna put this here. This over a little bit. Yeah, this one kind of got a little wonky too. So yeah, this is the fun stuff music producers don't want to tell you about, is when they have to go in and do this. I couldn't imagine doing this for like a band, but then again, I guess they would be paying you. I wouldn't be stuck doing their stuff. Same thing on this first one. Yeah, when it's me playing, I don't mind fixing some things. But I couldn't tell you if it was a band paying me. I guess I wouldn't mind it because I would just build those would be billable hours. I mean, I'm pretty fast at it, so. Yep, right there too. God dang it. That's why it's always important to have a good guitar player. So that's actually off in Ableton. I'm gonna put one right there. Just so they're on top of each other. I hope this timing's right. Yeah, that's good. You can see right there, the first transient's right on top of it. Cool. I think that's going to sound cool. That sounds great. There's just a little thing here. Oh, I think it's because we're all on Complex Pro. Somehow they got off. It's a little messy here. What happens there? Is it just warping it too much? Is that what's going on? I don't know what happened there. I don't know why that's messed up, but what we can do though is take it from here. You can just see he's got to move this one a little bit now. There's nothing after it, so I have to worry about the after one, just like before. A little off, smaller. Try that. Now this guy's off now. Is that okay? So I'm going to assume that it needs to be. Cool, that sounds good. Now, the only other thing to note here is this octave. Oh yeah, we have a couple different things here. So we're gonna need to make a new track here. So we're gonna duplicate the octave guitar. We're gonna call this one bend guitar, or I don't know. All it is just the bends. So here, delete from here, and here, delete all this extra stuff from here. I want these guys to be loud and big and mean. I want these to be super mean. I'm actually throw some limiting on here, just because if you limit things, it makes things sound crazy. I realize that I don't really have like if I search limit, it's not really helping me. I need utility, or is it high limiter? No, it's multiband. I don't need multiband because all I'm doing is one frequency on this guy. Cool, and then we're gonna just go in here, trim this up, make this so that it's just this little guy right there. Can probably get even more trim, to be honest with you. Cool, and then over here, same thing. Boom and boom. Yeah, so I want this to be loud and big and mean. So let's try a different preset. Where's like, I want angry. None of that. Is that cool? No. Yeah, none of these are like over the top that I want. I might need to go guitar rig. Yeah, it's like almost now that I'm, playing around with more with both of them, tonality and guitar rig, I feel like guitar rig is really good for big over the top sounds or really like in your face sounds. And tonality is more for like real sounds. It's really interesting. There's a new guitar rig out too. I think they're on 6 or 7. I don't know, but it could also be that I'm on the wrong one. Like I need a new one. Let's go with big. That's kind of cool. Let's see that all together. It's kind of random though. You could try all the blank things again, which is the usual preset you go with. All the blank things. Where are you up here? God, real quick, look at how I'm sitting in my chair. This is so bad. I am so leaned forward. That's not good. Especially if I'm going to do this long term. So here, I'm going to get a little closer to the mic. Let's try that there. It's cool. It's not really doing what I want it to do, though. I think maybe because we have something spread, so maybe there's too much spread going on here. We're just going to reduce all of these by a little bit. Oh, why can't I find the sound? One of these sounded decent. I'll leave it there, and then I'm also going to throw on this echo. The Ableton echo, the stock echo. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it echoing out like that. Cool. Now I'm gonna try something kind of weird here. I want it to be bigger. Now I could Pro Q it, but I'm gonna use this thing Alter Boy, which is usually good for vocals. Sometimes it works good for guitars. I don't know if it'll work or not. And all I want to do is before I hit the echo, I want a double at 50% with the pitch halfway then. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's cool. I'm gonna try before the before here as well. That's cool after, yeah, before. Awesome. I didn't think that was gonna work. You learn something new every day though. And now the limiter, which I don't know why I grabbed the utility for. That's silly of me. I meant to grab the limiter. There is a limiter in the dynamic section. Thank you. I'm just going to use the stock one. Some cool triplet stuff there. That sounds good though. All right, so just a real quick, we're just gonna try mixing this a little bit more. There we go. Dude, I think we got it. Only that I just want to check on this little thing. Awesome. All right, let's listen to our track now. All right, up next, the breakdown. Or, oh, sorry, this was the breakdown. Oh, there was one thing I forgot. One little thing I forgot. Got this Redux thing I forgot I put on here. on the demo one we're trying to keep on here. And it just kind of turns on here and just does a cool little effect. And here too. All right, guys, that sounds absolutely, dare I say, bitchin'. I can't believe how good that sounds. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I'm going to call that a day at that, actually. So, hey, if you're on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. We're going to start doing monthly giveaways pretty soon, the different plugins that I use. We're also, if you're on Twitch, same thing. Check out the links on YouTube or check out the links on Twitch. I'll probably put them there, too. But please follow, subscribe, whatever they call it on Twitch. I'm not sure. And yeah, so pretty soon we're also going to be talking more about the entire space. So we've got cameras all throughout here, and I've got stuff to show you everywhere, including behind me. Eventually, I'll show everyone all my fun toys. I can see the synthesizer racks up here. We can look at all the synthesizer stuff back there. All the stuff that's back along that window there, and then even we can look at some more of the fun toys and stuff. But yeah, you can't go wrong with having a bunch of toys in the videos. So yeah, I will leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. I really appreciate that. And if you can, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram. I'm doing new content there every day as well. Brent Does Music. But yeah, check me out on there. But yeah, in that case, I will bid you guys, on that note, I will bid you guys all adieu.